No sound, not at all. For if you go deep within, you hear everything. Hello and welcome to today's episode where I'm going to look at the spiritual meaning of what that's all about for each and every one of us and really kind of like get some kind of sense of what it's all about. And I would say to all of you right now, would you like to stay present? Just think about that. Would you like to be here present right now? And if we go through this is one way we can do that. So when you think no sound, imagine if you would a realm where there is no sound. If I was to speak like this, you could not hear a thing. Imagine being outside, but everything was just nothing. Could hear nothing. It's like your sense had been turned off. What would that do? What would that feel like? If because obviously it's a sense you're used to, and it turns off. And when you think about those people who have lost their hearing, obviously that's something they've had to experience, and can be quite. You might think, oh, that's quite intimidating, isn't it? So suddenly lose that sound. A simple method of communication would be gone. And how would you counteract that? Well, you start to use all your other senses, wouldn't you? Your vision, your written word, for example, that would become really prevalent. And also it would heighten those more kind of like senses that you're maybe not so aware of. The sense of feeling, the sense of get in touch with energy, for want of a better word. Actually getting into that process of actually feeling the air all around you. I think that's quite a nice thing to do. When you think of it in that context, your taste would be heightened. Your smell would certainly, your olfactory awareness would become stronger because when you lose something, it's natural, I feel, that other senses become more pertinent, become more stringent, more strong. That you become reliant upon those when you lose something like that. But when you think no sound, and I say not at all, every oh, not at all. And to me, when I say not at all, it's almost as if I'd say, it's okay, no problem. I'll use other awarenesses, I'll use my other senses. But I want you to think now of like, the quality of being quiet, being silent. For if we go into what we perceive as silence, now you've got your hearing. So what do you see as silence, or hear, should I say, as silence? As you step into silence, you think there is no sound, but I can guarantee you, if you do that, you step into that silence, you suddenly begin to hear things you're not aware of. Say, for example, I'm in this room right now. I go quiet. I can hear noise downstairs of a television being played. Get kind of a humming in the background. It's probably a hum of electricity. And more, I'm not going to go silently because you'll be falling asleep, obviously. So this is more something you can do in your own homes. But when you go into the realm of silence, just pay attention and look at the things you normally miss. And actually, and people might think like, oh, silence is a bit boring, doing nothing, just sitting there like some lemon, like, just like hearing nothing. There will be something. And it's like if you go out, especially if you was to go into nature, for example, on a bright sunny day, imagine it's all quiet, you sit on a bench and you sit down, you think like, there's no one else but yourself. As you listen to the silence, you'll hear the rising and falling of your breath. You hear that. Um, you'll hear perhaps the distant chatter of birds singing away merrily in their own little space. You may be even sensing the wind blowing across the grass or amongst the trees or whatever. And, just sitting there, you hear maybe the thrum of traffic way off in the distance or close by or whatever. Maybe you'll hear the chatter of people talking down the road. I mean, it's when you kind of like consciously put yourself in that position, you actually realize that true, perfect silence, I don't think it exists. There's always something. You'll always be some sound, unless, of course, you are hearing deprived. If your sense of hearing is deprived, you may find that situation's a little bit different, a little bit more cloudy, shall we say. But for most of us, silence doesn't exist. There is always some noise in that silence. And I'd love for all of you now, if you're watching this, maybe pause the video and just sit for a couple of minutes inside. Just maybe write a note down and just write down all the sounds you can hear that I bet you that you don't hear normally. Or obviously you can do that after this video if you want to. It's just a little bit of fun. And please, I encourage you to put down what sounds you hear in the comments and kind of like think like, oh, I didn't think of that. And kind of like just go from there and see like, right, I see. I wasn't aware of that sound that has always probably been there. And anything that increases our awareness, I feel has got to be a good thing. So when there is no sound at all, is that really the case? And then the next line that I've put at the start of today's little session is for if you go deep within. Now think of the earth. If you go into the earth, and start burrowing down, the further you go down, the outside world, all that gets quieter and quieter and quieter until there is just the sound of the earth underneath. And that's got its own ethereal kind of quality, I feel. Now, obviously, if you're going deep in the earth, the only sound you're probably like, if you're going obviously a machinery, if it's a tunnel being digged, you're probably going to hear that sound. But I'd like to think more, something like tunnels going deep into the earth, almost like natural cave systems, for example. And when you delve deep into the underworld, there is like this. Sometimes you hear the dripping of water, you hear your own footsteps. And it's almost like, you're entombed in this kind of what womb-like aspect. And it can be a little bit unsettling, to say the least. I always remember when we was kids, we used to go to this place called Chislehurst Cave with the school, and it was kind of always like a magic adventure. We'd go out from London, we'd get out a little bit of the countryside, it's just outside of London. It's like a nice big day out. We knew what was coming. We was going to go into the with our little lanterns, scurry off underneath. And then, of course, the tour guides would ham it up. They'd say, well, these tunnels are known to be haunted. I do, oh, there's a ghost in the underworld. And then you'd go with your little lanterns and you go round this area, and it was kind of like really kind of like neat. It's quite a little bit unique. And one time I was there, and I think all the group went left, and I went right, and I kid you not, I was like, oh my God, where is everybody? I'm lost with this haunted flipping grey lady or whatever her name was around this lake or whatever. Of course, they was only just round the corner, so panic soon averted. But I remember when I was there, and obviously there's the visual thing, but it's the sound. That sound of almost stillness, especially when you are on your own. It's that still sound when you just quiet and just listen. It is something else. And it is like going deep within. So as we go deep in within the earth, the more we go into the heart of the planet, for want of a better word, all right, it's a long way down there. I get that. But you do take yourself away from this outer sphere, the outer noise, as we go deep within. Imagine what you can go do as you go deep within yourself. Just focus yourself, your attention going inward as opposed to outwards. We are so used to projecting our energy outwards. We're always going out there looking. Look, I could have my phone. I'd be scrolling on down. I was going to pick my phone up, but it's recorded, of course. But we'd be recording like this, scrolling down like this. We're all the time. Our minds are going out, out. I'm being drawn here. Oh, my friend's having a party tonight. My energy's focused on that. I've just seen something about news and new president of the USA. My attention is going out there all the time. It's like here, boom, 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 boom. It's not going inward. It's when we go inward that we find peace. You're not gonna. It's unlikely. I'm not gonna say you won't find it. It's unlikely you're gonna find it under there. What you get out there is chatter. It's the mind like jumping like a demented little Zebedee figure going boing 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 boing, and you're like donk 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 donk. It's no wonder our heads don't fall off. We're like constantly chasing. So I would rather say, let's just pause, go within, take those deep breaths, and sort of like just enter that stillness. Um, and obviously the easiest way of doing that is through meditation. And quite often, though, this is where I will sort of like challenge the status quo a little bit because we go into meditation. It's got some music in the background, hasn't it? Which is really pleasant and very, mellifluous as it takes us on to this nice little trance-like state. But I'll say you don't need the music. You don't need it. Do that just with yourself. Just listen to your own heartbeat. Listen as you travel within yourself. And you can have people like guided meditations. I get that. It's a very nice kind of like thing. And I've done guided meditations myself. I think way back, one of my older videos, there is a guided meditation. I haven't played it for donkeys. I hope it's good. One of these days I'll do some more. I'll do some more meditations. Maybe if you'd like that, comment below. And kind of, but it's nice just to get in touch with. I promise you, I will not be using any music. It will be just my voice as we go inward. But here's the rub. You don't need to have a guided meditation. You don't need to have music. You just need, you know what you need? You. Just you. And there's several ways. I'll give you an example of real simple ones. So just sit with your back straight, feet on the floor, hands in your lap. And to start, just your eyes open and observe. Just sit still. Now you can do this without having to close your eyes, going on or whatever. See, I'll break the script a little bit. There's no problem with, by the way, I'm not knocking people that do that. It's actually a very sacred practice. But for those who want to just get started, we're going to go and just be simple. Sit down and just challenge us to sit in silence. We're not used to doing it because we're always manic. We're always bam, 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 bam. Take the time. Listen. Feel. Really feel what's around you. And get this sense of kind of like harmony within yourself. That harmony of kind of like, hey, you know what? This feels good. This feels right. And just literally just sit there. Don't even focus on your breathing. Just look around. If you want to take it to a little bit deeper, then yeah, close your eyes. You probably want to do this in a more private setting. But yeah, if you're out there, just no one else there, why not close your eyes and just listen? Listen to the sounds around. Really listen to the sounds that you're not there. And because you've literally turned this off, and you're just focusing purely on those pretty much, or should I say the majority of your senses are on here, you'll pick things up that you wouldn't before. But this is just a lovely sense of peace because you are in that moment. This is what I'm talking about. You are in the present moment. Stay present. And that is how when you want to find the quiet within yourself, it's meditation that will give you the quiet within yourself. And in that space, you feel just lighter, don't you? Because all the pressure, all that head chatter for a moment, it's been gone. It's gone up there. Because when you're present, you can't have those worries because all you're doing is just work. You can concentrate on your breathing. Simple as. It's really simple. So whilst I love the guided meditations, I say I've done them myself. I've recorded them myself. They take that a little bit further. But for those who are really just kind of like getting into this sort of thing, or even if you're not, if you've been doing meditating for years, sometimes it's nice to come back to the basics and just simply do the basics. I love the basics. I used to train in karate a few years ago. I did pretty well. I got quite through high grades. These days I'll just be I'm totally out of shape. That it wouldn't happen. Too many aches and pains and God knows what else now. But what I used to love, it wasn't all the fancy moves, the head kicks, the what do you call it? The back roundhouse kick, or reverse roundhouse kick. They used to call it or a mawash or whatever. I just loved the basics. Simple, just sitting there, or just not sitting, but standing there, just punching for ages, just going over and getting the move, just getting the feeling. And we need to feel strong foundations, strong roots. Build our roots, build our practice. And it's the same thing with this. This for me, for meditation, is building your roots, building your practice. And you can, once you've got your strong roots, you can branch out into other areas. Why not? Okay. And do you want to expand? Do you not want to expand? And this is what comes to the last line. If you want to expand, you hear everything. So if you want to challenge yourself, when you are in that state of total relaxation, start really pushing yourself and almost imagine what can you feel. Imagine your energy just being pushed outwards. And a lot of us don't realize our energy is huge. After all, we all come from source. We're an element of source. If we want to, we can tap into that whole big area and just sense that sense of feeling. But you start small. You start within yourself. You just start go inward. And if once you're ready, you just imagine you're just gently pushing that energy out. Feel into the space around you. And this is where it gets tricky. We're going beyond hearing, we're going beyond vision here. It's almost this part of your body is becoming aware, it's starting tapping in. And trust me, and this is where you may get sort of like what we dare I say is messages. I don't want to freak people out too much because I know some people are a little bit, oh, this sounds a bit woo-woo, because I know I probably am talking to more the traditional spiritual people, of course, who understand what I'm talking about, but there are some who are new to this. Um, and I'm just saying to you, it's not woo-woo at all. You're just tapping in to a gift that's always there, but we don't use those awarenesses. I think it's been said before that of our brains, we use like about 10% or some tiny portion. We're actually pushing that into other areas of our brain, but more importantly, of our energy, of our awareness. So the brain is helping, but also that this core within is pushing out. Our brains are important, but what matters most is this. Push out from the here, the seat of your soul, which is around what we call around your navel. It's like bringing that energy and just pushing out. So imagine yourself like as this sphere of energy just pushing and sitting in that space. Literally, that's all you're doing. As you push out, you're just sitting in that space, just being aware of where you are. And it's amazing. And you can almost imagine this little commentary going on, and you just feel like as you push out, oh, I feel like over there, there's a bit of a cold spot for whatever reason. We're all different. We all come up with different avenues of exploration. So as we step in more and more into that, we start to improve and increase our awareness, our presence by being present. So when you're present, your presence starts going out. But on a really more kind of like in a world where there is just this constant mental bombardment going within yourself, it's brilliant therapy. It's you don't have to spend fortunes going off to see therapists. So I'll just put myself out of a job because I'm a Reiki therapist. But it is more stepping into that space where you could just be in your own space, push it out, and being just yourself. Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. Be you. That's where I'd like to end this lovely meditation. No, meditation. I can't suppose it is a we're talking about meditation. And for you people that have got right to the end, I'm going to give you a little challenge, a little bit of fun. Let's have a little bit of fun because I want you to put in the comments if you got this far, and just so we can have a little bit of a laugh with who's there. It's just put something like the Oracle has spoken in the comments. So that might have people thinking, huh? Why are all these people putting that down there? And I admit, at first, there probably won't be that many people putting that in, but in time, as I build my catalogue up on these channels, it may well start to resonate and people will start being thinking, what are they on about? So do you want to start that? Do you want to start the ball rolling? Put in the Oracle has spoken. Anyway, and this oracle has spoken enough. I shall let you enjoy your day. Thank you so much for coming along and catch you at the next one.